Hello and welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren on the Books. It's autumn. Autumn blanket, autumn cushion, autumn lipstick, autumn headband, definitely autumn shirt. And today I'm going to be doing an autumn Q&A. I've even got David to move my chair in front of here because there's just something autumnal about sitting in a chair in front of your books, I think. I asked on Instagram a couple of days ago for some autumn questions, and I've got some here, just over 30. There was lots that were sort of similar, and I've sort of tried to group them together where possible. That's not true, I haven't grouped them together where possible, but like I've tried to avoid duplicates. A lot of stuff about puddings and desserts. A lot of stuff about puddings and desserts, but let's leap straight in with some autumn chat. I think it'll be lovely. So the first question was pudding related. Your favourite autumn pudding or sweet treat? Look at that little tummy poking out there. So apple stuff basically. So I'm thinking like an apple strudel with cinnamon. So an apple strudel, really like that. Apple pie, really like that. Apple crumble, really like that. David yesterday bought me an apple donut, really like that. Anything sort of apple themed, but also cinnamon roll stuff or cardamom bun stuff. So like Swedishy buns and cinnamon basically. I'm just eating cinnamon from like 1st of September till 31st of December. Cinnamon. An autumn outfit you are looking forward to wearing. What I'm really looking forward to wearing, because I'm doing a fashion challenge this year, if you hadn't been made aware, whereby I'm wearing a different outfit every single day throughout the year, and sort of like mixing up stuff without buying anything new, mixing up stuff that I already own and trying to wear it in different ways and things like that. And yeah, an autumn out, and what I've been missing over the summer is that I've really been missing layering. So I think in terms of an outfit I'm looking forward to wearing is that I'm looking forward to sort of accessories being back in, layers being back in, because in the summer it was much harder to find a different outfit to wear every single day, because some days you're just in a dress and you don't want to put anything else on because it's so hot. So yeah, I'm looking forward to layering, I'm looking forward to some scarves, and not even particularly a favourite outfit, but just like different bits. Boots, I'm looking forward to wearing boots, and tights, I've missed tights, and I've got lots of different colours of tights, so they're able to like, I can like mix up dresses, which I haven't been able to do in the summer because you've just been wearing a dress and then that's it, you've worn that dress. So I'm looking forward to being able to mix things up and to accessorise and layers. My best autumn meal, including drink and a starter, a bit like off menu. So I think a starter, I'm very into mushrooms. So maybe some sort of like mushroom pate, or like mushrooms on sourdough or something like that. Oh, very nice. Or dips. I quite like a sort of, hello.
Is that ready to switch on?
Yes, please. It's even got a thing in there. 45-minute one, please, David. He just needed to dry off before he put his towel in the washing machine. Yeah, so maybe some sort of like autumnal hummus or a dip or something with some delicious rosemary flatbreads. Okay, we'll go for that. We'll go for some sort of like mushroom based dip or a hummus, like an autumnal hummus dip, chestnutty maybe, with some flatbreads. My main meal, autumnal, I think I'm gonna go sort of like down the stew route side of things. There's a really nice chestnut, mushroom and red wine casserole in a Jack Monroe book that I often make when it gets to this time of year and into the winter. And that's really nice, and you can have that with mash. Yeah, because I'm gonna pick mash. Whatever I'm having with mash. That's lovely. I'm also wondering maybe this year if I could make that into a pie and then top that with mash. That would be really nice. And then some like spring greens on the side. That's got the word spring in it, but like some cabbage on the side or something like that, or something with squash. Oh God, like yeah, those sort of things. I'm not getting a firm answer here. And then a dessert, one of the aforementioned apple items, and then a drink. Do you know what, with meals I'm just a simple water girl. I would never ever drink anything other than water with a meal. I like fun drinks, but they're just not to be drunk with meals. If I go out for a nice dinner, I'll have a drink, like a special drink before, like a mocktail or something like that, and then I'll drink it before, and then I don't touch it while I'm eating, and then I finish off at the end because I'm just a water girl. But I do drink a lot of water, and sometimes sparkling water. There we go. Is there going to be an autumn cozy reading night? Yes, there is going to be an autumn cozy reading night. Details will be coming soon. It's going to be in conjunction with Independent Bookshop Week for Indie Bookshop Day, so very, very excited about that. To keep your eyes peeled, and there's going to be some shortlisted books for the Reader's Prize, and yeah, keep your eyes out for all of that, because that's coming up soon, and I'm very much looking forward to it. Number 5, do you have a cozy autumn playlist? None that I've made, but I would always recommend Classic FM, because it's very much sort of like seasonal. And this time of year, they just seem to be playing sort of like cozier stuff. There is now two like sister stations to Classic FM. So there's Classic FM Smooth, Classic FM Calm, which plays calm music all the time, and Classic FM Movies, which plays movie soundtrack. I would also highly recommend the Lord of the Rings soundtrack, because that's very autumnal, whether or not just because David and I have started watching those films around this time of year. But yeah, that I would highly recommend. And also there is a playlist on Spotify that I started listening to when we had Tom and Laura around the other day, and that was a really fun playlist. That's not a reading playlist by no means. I can't read with anything that's got words. It was called Autumn in College, 90s, early noughties, alt-rock, Goodwill Hunting Corps. And it's got songs such as Linger by the Cranberries, Kiss Me by Sixpence None the Richer, She's So High by Tall Buckman. Yeah, lots and lots of very enjoyable songs, and we had a lovely time listening to that while we had them over for dinner. Do I prefer fashion and clothes in autumn winter, and do I have a favourite item? I absolutely prefer fashion and clothes in autumn winter. Refer back to the previous mentioned lots and lots of layering. I've got a favourite item. I don't have it here because it's not out of storage yet, and it's a Joni clothing body, leopard print body with like a little cap neck, and I bought it secondhand online from Depop, and I wear it so much. It's really lovely and soft, despite it being secondhand and me wearing it so much, so it's always in the wash. I love that it's a body, because then it tucks in beautifully into stuff. I can wear it underneath stuff, so I can wear it underneath t-shirts and things like that, and I do that. I can wear it underneath dresses and dungarees and things, and yeah, there's just something about the cut of it that feels quite sexy as well, because it's tight fitting and it just like seems to cling to me in all the right places, and yeah, it's just my favourite item ever. And yeah, once that comes out of storage, because we're not quite cold enough here yet. I think we're about to go into a cold snap now, aren't we, Dad? And then I'll start wearing it underneath stuff. So at the moment we're still in sort of shirts and t-shirts and things, but that is my favourite item. Number 7, do you decorate for autumn? We do. So what we've done this year, we didn't decorate at all for autumn and Halloween last year because we were in the middle of actual decorating. This year, we've got a few sort of autumnal bits out, so things like this. So not Halloween bits, no sort of like jack-o'-lanterns. There are pumpkins, but no jack-o'-lanterns. So things like this blanket, cushions like this. I must show you something that David's mum bought me yesterday because it's very exciting. 2 seconds. A disco pumpkin. She got this in Sainsbury's. I saw it on her side yesterday and I was like, oh my God, where is that from? She said, I bought you that. I knew you wouldn't be able to resist it. So yeah, so things like this, disco pumpkins, but also sort of like little fairy lights with little leaves on, and we've got a few acorns and mushrooms and things like that. So yeah, nice bits that are autumnal, but no Halloween items at the moment. Oh, let's have a look. Favourite soup flavour? God, we're only on question number 8. I love soup, and next year, because this year for my Friday reading vlogs, I've been working my way through the Sweet Roasting Tin book and doing a bit of baking every week. I was thinking next year maybe I'll start doing soups, because I really love soups. The only thing is that David is not a soup lover. He does not really like soups at all. I've got a few faves. So I really like broccoli and Stilton. That's very nice because I really like salty stuff. And I also like greens, so that works out very well. I also very much like, there's one in the Covent Garden soup book, which is a soup for every day of the year. So that would be the book that I'll be using. There's one in there which is a tortilla soup, which is like tortilla chips, sort of steeped in stock and things like that. You can put chicken in it, but I don't, because I don't eat meat. And that's very, very nice as well. What's Daphne doing over there? She's being very silly. I'm quite fussy about my tomato soups, but if they're done right, they're perfect. Like I'm not entertaining anything that isn't a roasted tomato soup with basil. That's very, very nice. So yeah, I've got a few faves. And also like a good old stodgy leek and potato is really nice at times. I'm not mad on sort of like a vegetable soup, just with all bits in. It reminds me of like being forced to eat soup when I was younger. I need to find a good mushroom soup. There's an apple and squash soup in a Jamie Oliver Christmas book, which is very nice. And then you sprinkle the seeds from the squash, like you roast them and sprinkle them on top. And that's very nice as well. So any of those soups. Favourite autumn films? I should ask my husband about this. David?
Yeah?
Got any favourite autumn films or film recommendations? We've
yes,
just...
Mystic Pizza.
Mystic Pizza, very good. What's that one?
That I really like.
Steel Magnolias.
Magnolias.
That's sort of seasonal for the whole year, but it does feel very autumnal.
Stepmother, but that's really sad.
It's called The Stepmom, isn't it? Or
Stepmom.
Stepmom, but that's really sad. We've just watched back to back, basically, all of the Hobbit films and all of the Lord of the Rings films, and we had a great time doing that. And I'm actually doing an autumn cross stitch whilst while we've been watching the Lord of the Rings stuff, so that's been really, really nice. Anything else, David?
Oh, what's that one you like? Practical Magic, because they're doing a second one, aren't they?
Practical Magic. I don't know if I've even seen it, David. I think I've just watched I think I've just read the book.
No, we watched it.
Hocus Pocus is obviously quite Halloweeny and autumnal this time of year, but there we go. Some good ones to be getting on with. How long did it take for you to get Fridays off work? I'll link this into something else, because I've also, some of you, the more astute of you, might have realised that I've got a new job. So I've mentioned on a few maybe Instagram posts and stuff that I've got a new job. And people have asked if I'd be happy to talk about it, and if I am happy to talk about it. So it's still quite early days, so I'm not happy to go into details at the moment, just because it is still early days and I'm finding my feet. But it's working for local council. Yeah, so I've left the NHS and I'm now doing that. But the first question was, how long did it take you to get Fridays off of work? And this is something that happened when I was working for the NHS. I was full-time and I was desperate to go down to reduce my time at work so that I was able to spend more time with the channel. And I had a series of managers that I would ask, and they would just say, no, that's impossible. One of my managers encouraged me to do a 10-day fortnight, which would mean doing like working full-time hours, but longer on different days, so that you could have like one day off every fortnight. But that was exhausting. Eventually I got a manager who, when I asked her, she was just like, yeah, of course you can. So I dropped 5 hours and upped some of my other time on my other days, and was able to have Fridays off. I was already working from home on a Thursday and Friday, so that seemed like the sensible day to do it. So when I went for my new job, I explained that I wanted Fridays off, and they were happy to allow that. So yeah, what I would say is just sort of like negotiate and don't give it up, because what one manager, and I don't know how it works wherever you may work, but like what one manager sees as a complete no-no, the next manager was like, yeah, of course you can. So it's always worth asking, and maybe asking around, and maybe asking if there's things like if you could trial it. So that was another thing I did, is that I said, oh, let's trial it for September. So we trialed it. Literally no, because a lot of the consultants I worked for were against it, and they were like, oh no, we need you still. And then once they realised that they didn't, it was fine. So trial it, keep asking, take them up on other suggestions they have. But like if the main suggestion, because what I kept saying is that I'm fine for it's the time I need. It's not that I'm concerned about not being full-time or not having the full-time money. It's the time I need. I was time poor, not money poor. So yeah, that's that. David,
yeah?
Would you mind turning that down a bit, please?
Absolutely, Bob. Sorry, Alexa, volume down. You put it on.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't realise it was on in my video. There we go. Next question. What advice would you give to someone trying to feel more content? Contentment is something that's very, very important to me. I might put some lights on, or is it still? Alexa, turn on living room. That's nicer, isn't it? Contentment is something that's very, very important to me, and I think I sought it out for a long time. I think try and obliterate comparison, which in this sort of world of of Instagram and watching YouTube videos and things like that and thinking, oh, that's what that person's got and that's what that person's got, that's hard, isn't it? But you need to have a closer look at what you've got and what you enjoy, and making the best of that. I was always very, very concerned about what other people would think about me doing something, and I felt like that when I gave up booze. Like a lot of my friendships were based on like boozy nights out, and then the next day sort of going out for breakfast or lunch and piecing them all together and stuff like that. So when I gave up booze, I had to stop concerning myself about what other people would think about that, for my mental health, but also because I was just concerned about how people would feel about that. So it's a long journey. It's a long journey, but it's absolutely worth it. And just to sort of, I never feel that sort of like FOMO feeling anymore. I guess that's very much linked in with me and contentment, like wondering what everyone else is doing or wanting to be what everyone else is doing. Like, it's a long way to get there. And I think acceptance of yourself is very much entwined in all of that as well. And I guess when I hit my sort of 30th birthday, I just stopped worrying about what I looked like so much in terms of like my body shape and size and stuff like that. So there's a lot of steps there, but I think you can absolutely do it. So hopefully that's a little bit helpful, hopefully. Will you be doing Outfits October? No Outfits October this year, because as I said earlier, I'm in a sort of fully involved outfits and fashion challenge for the whole year. So if you want to go over to Instagram and follow Lauren.andthelooks, you will be able to find me over there. It's linked on my actual Instagram page, which is Lauren and the Books. You'll be able to find me over there doing lots of fashion stuff. So yeah, if it's fashion stuff you're looking for, go over there, because there's no Outfits October this year, which is sad. But yeah, I couldn't do a challenge within a challenge. That's just one too many challenges for even me. Next up is my favourite autumn tea. Do you know what? I have gone sort of off of all teas that aren't just your standard brown tea. I don't know what's happened. I just stopped drinking them so much, and like it just wasn't, the flavour wasn't there. So I'm the wrong person to ask at the moment, because I would simply say decaffeinated brown tea with oat milk in. So, and I'm not even that fussy about the brand. I went the Barry's tea, the decaf version of Barry's tea, which is an Irish tea brand, was one of my faves for such a long time. But getting it shipped over here now is much more difficult because of the because of us not being in the EU anymore. Yorkshire tea is a good dupe for Barry's tea, but it's not Barry's tea. But I'll just take any decaf tea. It doesn't like the higher end ones or the supermarket owned brand ones. I'll take that with oat milk. That is my tea. Do I carve pumpkins? We went to a pumpkin place last year, got pumpkins, took them home and carved them at my friend's house. We didn't that, but did we put them out here? No, I don't think we did, because we were decorating. I do it. It's messy and they don't tend to last very long. So it's not like my all-time favourite thing to do. So that's that. I keep seeing on Instagram a lot of people who are decorating pumpkins with like PVA glue and napkins or flowers and things. Obviously you're not able to eat that afterwards, because when we've carved them previously we can chop the middles out. Only of some pumpkins though, not of all of them, and you can eat that or make that into soup or something. But yeah, will I be carving pumpkins this year? David, do you feel like you want to carve a pumpkin this year?
No.
He does not. What's on my autumn TBR? Now, I've made a whole video of this and you are able to go and watch it. I will link that down below. That's got some autumn TBR videos that I'm doing. But at the moment, the 4 books that I've got on the go, which are, I think, off my autumn TBR, I've literally just started reading The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. That's the Patreon book club book for this month. I am almost, I'm like, in the last quarter of Rewitched by Lucy Jane Wood, which is a book that I've highly enjoyed. Very cosy, set in autumn, lovely. I've also been reading short stories from Autumn Chills by Agatha Christie. This is all short stories from Agatha Christie, sort of set around the autumn time and stuff like that. Nicely pulled together. And then I'm reading, maybe, what was that?
No idea.
Oh no. And then I'm reading, which is probably quite wintry, A Woman in the Polar Night by Christiane Ritter, about a woman who's living in, even Dappy's come to have a look, a woman living in Norway in the polar night, in the Arctic island of Spitsbergen, who lives there for a year with her husband.
I don't know where it comes from.
No, nor do I. Is the washing machine on?
Yeah.
Oh, but it wasn't that. Who knows? Spooky. What are you wearing?
Oh.
Oh, it's that parcel. You got your Gavin and Stacey t-shirt on.
Oh.
Very cute. Do you want to come and show it?
No trousers though, because I'm still quite warm.
David's got his, I don't feel like I've ever seen you in that. Dave's Cultures t-shirt. Very good. David, just while you're here, what's your best cosy podcast or TV series?
Cozy TV series.
Cozy podcast, I don't really know.
I probably would put Gavin and Stacey in the cozy,
comforting, isn't
comforty, cozy bracket.
It is set sort of all through the year though, isn't it? So
like Vicar of Dibley, that's very cozy.
David, what's one that you've been watching recently?
Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore Girls.
That is.
I can't watch it because they are so annoying.
They are unbearable, but it is lovely. It's almost, I don't even really. It's just a nice background program to have because I don't really care about the story.
Yeah. I would like to watch Anne with an E this year, which is the Anne of Green Gables series on Netflix, which is supposed to be quite cosy. I find Heartstopper quite cosy and also quite autumnal, even though it's not always set at autumn, it's set sort of throughout the year as well. In terms of cosy podcasts, I'd be interested in your suggestions below if you like. I listen to the same podcast like the whole year round, so I don't feel like there's anything that I would consider particularly cosy. One of my favourite podcasts that we started listening to this year is the Richard Osman and Marina Hyde podcast called The Rest is Entertainment. And they talk about like the entertainment industry, which includes everything from like TV to books and stuff like that. And I find that very comforting listening. But yeah, interested to hear below cosy podcasts if you've got any. How are you planning on making this autumn special? I suppose this year, because we've been trying to save to buy this place, we've sort of taken the heat off of spending lots of money on stuff. So it's David's birthday very soon, and we've sort of really pared down what would ordinarily we would go away for someone's birthday, or we'd be going out for dinner at the very least, well, going out for dinner activities while we're away. And we were like, for this year, we're just going to sort of strip everything back and just keep it very chill. And for David's birthday, we've got cinema passes, so we're gonna go to the cinema a couple of times. We're around his parents for dinner. We've also got passes to Leeds Castle, so we're gonna go there for one day. And we're just doing things that are within our capabilities, but we don't always make the time to do. So yeah, I guess this year, in order to make it special, it's just about being together. We're having a lovely time doing so much cross stitch, so in order to make this autumn special for me, I just want to be doing cross stitch all the time. So that will definitely be happening. But yeah, it's just sort of paring it back this year and just chilling out a bit. Do I like pumpkin spice? I don't mind it. I'm not mad on it. I sort of feel a bit like swept up in it because it's autumn and that's what you should do. But in the same way that we're sort of like saving to do things, I haven't got enough money to be spending like £5 on a coffee that I probably just think is okay. What would be your perfect autumn day? Come on then, Dappy. My perfect autumn day would involve Daphne sitting on my lap, but that's never ever going to happen. Well, like a sort of semi-lie-in, because I love to sleep, but I don't want to waste the whole day. So a sort of like 8:20, 8:30 lay-in. Something nice on toast for breakfast, like some sort of mushrooms or a scrambled egg or something. That'd be nice. Then sitting on the sofa, reading or doing cross stitch and watching something. Maybe like Last Night Strictly or something like that. Maybe doing that. Then going out somewhere for lunch to like a nice tea room or a farm shop or something like that. Following that up with a lovely walk with lots of lovely crisp leaves and some boots and things like that. The evening, maybe like a family meal, like very chilled, and then board games in the evening. Bloody hell, that sounds perfect, doesn't it? Next question is very specific and I like it. Tips for good lighting while maintaining a cosy reading atmosphere on dark evenings. Lamps and fairy lights. We've rearranged things and we've got our sofa over in the winter setup. We've both got a lamp at either end of the sofa now. So mine is more targeted lamp. It's a serious reader's light that I can use like to read, and it just focuses on what I'm looking at. I also use it for cross stitch and everything because it's got sort of like tech in it from sewing machines. David's one is bigger, so that feels cozy, but we've got a lot of I mean, I would never have been able to do it, but David set up a lot of like smart light bulbs and smart plugs and stuff, so we can say, like I just did earlier, turn on living room, turn on cozy living room, and we've got like something called a yellow corner, so we can have like all the lights on, But like if we're in the room and we're watching telly, then we wouldn't have the reading lights on, so we would have maybe a lamp on the other side of the room. Candles obviously as well. We've got a big 2-wick candle that David bought last year that we never got around to lighting, so they make a lot of nice lights. We've got fairy lights all around the top of the room, which are broken because Daphne pulled some of them down, so it goes sort of like almost the whole way around the room. They create a nice lot of light sort of up there that isn't big lights. But we've also now got smart bulbs, which means I can say, Alexa, turn on living room to 30%. And that will bring it down, but it's still on, so it's still warm. So yeah, there's some tips. Hopefully that is tips. I mean, all of that is created by David. It's nothing to do with me. God, I'm really showing you bits. Optimum autumn weather. The person who asked this question said that their optimum autumn weather was 62 degrees and sunny. Well, I can only assume 62 F in C. Or 16.6 degrees. So that might be what it is today. It's 17 degrees, yeah. So we're very, yeah. So I like it to feel a chill. I like to be able to wear a coat, especially now I've got a new coat. I like it to be bright, but I don't want to feel sweaty. So yeah, like maybe a bit cooler, so 14 but no breeze. So I've got a coat on and like bright but cloudy, maybe like blue sky but clouds, fluffy ones. Yeah, that would be it. Favourite Halloween costume? God, I can't remember the last time I dressed up for Halloween. I think I would just like something as simple as like a beautiful floral sheet over me with holes in, like I'm a lovely floral ghost. That would be quite nice. Yeah, I'll go for that. Favourite blanket? I've bought a new blanket this year. So David and I, as I keep saying, we've been saving money. But something we did allow ourselves to do, because we didn't buy anything new for autumn last year, autumn or Halloween, because we didn't decorate. We said we were allowed to purchase one autumn or Halloween item. David's still to purchase his. He hasn't done it, but I bought this in August in TK Maxx. It's a double lined, like furry on one side and like fleecy on the other side. I mean, look at it. Blanket with a back print in pink, and it looks like fruit salad, doesn't it? Pink and orange, and it's huge. So it's going to be really nice and warm when the time comes, and it's super fucking stylish, isn't it? The colours are lovely, and it just feels really nice and warm. So I will take this as my favourite blanket. It's new, but I haven't fully utilised it yet, but it's beautiful, and it's sort of Halloween, but my Halloween, which is like bright colours. And what are you doing? What are you doing? Little silly girl. Next up is favourite genre to read in autumn. I don't know that I'm not, I mean, maybe like children's classics. Very much enjoying reading Secret Garden. And I've got the whole Anne of Green Gables series I would like to get through at some point this autumn. I've also got a few like cozy reads, so like cozy, not cozy crime, but Rewitched I would count as that, sort of like cozy, gentler reads. Maybe at one point they would have been considered women's contemporary fiction, but not sort of like romancy stuff, but cozy gear. And yeah, that. What I did notice when I made my autumn TBR is that there was no non-fiction books on there, so non-fiction is not the time for me. I'm having a look otherwise. Fantasy, like, and sort of, don't do that, don't be naughty. But yeah, have a look at the old autumn TBR. Top crafting tip. I mean, I'm not much of a crafter, I'm just a cross stitcher, but what I would say is that this year I bought, I'm gonna go and get it. I treated myself for the first time to a cross stitching magazine, and it's honestly the best thing I've done. It's got so many good patterns in it. So this is Cross Stitcher. I've got a feeling it only started, it didn't, oh, issue 414. Oh, maybe it has been going a lot longer, but I bought this in Sainsbury's because I liked the look of this one, which is the colours of the home with different sort of, so it's got chocolate stash, fridge door, sewing room, things like that, and I really like that. But then when I looked through it, there was so much stuff in here. So this is what I'm doing the autumn, the big one that I've been doing for when I've been watching the Lord of the Rings films. But also they've got a whole alphabet of like little Halloween things, and this is one that I've made for my friend Emma, and I'm also currently making one, I'll cover my face up so you can see it. I'm also currently making one for my niece, and then there's an amazing, and you might have seen this on a Friday reading vlog, this isn't for this year, this is probably like a whole year a whole year project, but this is Elizabeth and Darcy at Pemberley. Look at that, it's amazing. And I feel like I wouldn't have that on display in my home, but it just looks like such a feat to be able to do it. And it says that it takes, how long did it say that it took? I saw it where it said 106 hours. So that one, that autumn one that I'm doing, it says it was 36 hours, I think. And I've done about 16 hours. 36 hours, yeah, and I think so far I've done about 16 hours. But yeah, I would, if you're into cross stitch, I would absolutely suggest getting yourself a hands on one of those, a magazine. Sadly, a lot of them, because there was another one there on the day that was all sealed up, so you couldn't see what was in there. So I was able to browse this one and saw that there was a few bits in there. But like, this will just keep on giving, and it's much, much cheaper than buying a very, very expensive pattern book, which I have a few of that I've bought over the years. But yeah, there's so much stuff in here, and they're seasonal as well, and they're just a little bit ahead of the time. So this was the September issue, which had a lot of stuff in there for autumn and for like Halloween and stuff like that. But next month's issue, the October issue, oh, I really like that as well, a little tiny mushroom. The October issue is the beginning of their Christmas stuff, and something they've got in there is this: Santa Claus is coming to town, and David wants to do that for his parents for Christmas, so he needs to crack on. But yeah, so that's coming out, oh, that's the November issue, sorry, that's coming out on the 1st of October. So yeah, but would highly recommend. So if I can use that as a tip to get yourself, and I guess that goes the same for like if you crochet or if you knit or anything, then it's worth the investment of like £8 for one issue, because you've got so much in there, it'll just keep on giving. And actually, I did notice that they do a subscription for this, and I was thinking of maybe putting it on my Christmas list, on my birthday list, because it would be amazing to get one of these every year, and that's about every month, and that's about £30 I think for the subscription. Favourite fall mocktail, like I said, I'm not drinking that with a meal. I think I would go like a sort of spiced apple juice, like a warmed apple juice, with some like cinnamon in there or something. I think I'm gonna go for that. Favourite scented candle, plus and one to light when you're eating. So what I would say is that I do not like a scented candle on when I'm eating. I don't mind a plain sort of taper candle, but I do not like a scented candle on when I'm eating. It just feels very in my mouth. And also what I will say is that I'm not mad on pumpkin flavoured candles, which is wall-to-wall pumpkin scented candles everywhere at the moment, and David loves them. So I'm more into sort of like fig. Sainsbury's have got a really nice range, and they've got like a coffee one, coffee and croissants I think it's called, and that smells really nice. And then I really like the Bramley did a collaboration with the Pig Hotel, and that got a lovely, lovely candle. So yeah, a few things like that. Figs, go fig. So somebody has asked, how do you juggle the demands of everyday life and wanting to relax and enjoy autumn? I find it really hard to enjoy it without the guilt of all the never-ending jobs. So what I will say, in the same way that I mentioned earlier about sort of feeling content, like, please don't compare yourself to me. I'm somebody who doesn't have children, whose hobbies and sort of like my commitments are all very much home-based. I don't work that far from work, I don't work that far from home, so I don't have sort of like the stress of getting into the city and back for my job. So yeah, there's a lot of like, what you're seeing here on YouTube and on Instagram is very much the sort of the creme of what I'm doing. So there are days where I don't get to do any of my cross stitch and I don't get to read. That's not true. I'd never let a day go by where I don't read, even if it was just like literally whilst I'm brushing my teeth before I go to bed at night. But yeah, so there is a lot of time, I guess, making time for those things to do. So when a lot of people say, well, how do you read so much, it's because I always make time to read. So and I'm getting worse at scrolling on my phone, so I need to have a look at that. But rather than sort of like sitting on, like when I get in from work, sort of sitting on the sofa and scrolling for what I hope to be 5 minutes but ends up being 40 minutes, like I just need to sort of like eradicate that and not do that, or allow a certain amount of time when you can do that. Like I tend to do a bit of scrolling when I'm in the bath after I've read for a bit. I'll then have a look and have a scroll on my phone in there and yeah, just making, like, saying to yourself, like, there we go, I'm going to do an hour's worth of reading before I go to bed tonight, and making the time to do that. Or if you wanted to wake up a little bit earlier, I remember one year I used to wake up 10 minutes earlier and read in bed for 10 minutes before I got dressed and got ready for the day. So yeah, it's making time, and also trying not to make yourself feel guilty for doing the things that make you feel better. Like if I wasn't to read for a day, then I would feel awful, in the same way that like baths really help me calm down and make me feel happy and chilled. And so I know that I need a sort of like, I remember when we didn't have the bath last year, when we were decorating, like, it was not a good time. And I also think that's why I sometimes feel quite down in the summer, because I'm not getting the baths that I would normally need, because they're sort of protected time. No one's bothering me while I'm in there. Again, I don't have children, and I've got a pet who's not that into me. And I can just know that I can go and read for 40 minutes in the bath and just be in a warm, lovely space, maybe with a nice playlist going and a cup of tea. So yeah, make time for it. Don't feel guilty about it. And yeah, and maybe have a little, if you're saying like you've got the never-ending list of jobs, then maybe have a little look at that never-ending list of jobs and feel like, are all of these as important as I think they are? But yeah, that's my tips. When curling up with a good book, what are the things that help you feel cozy? Cup of tea, always. Good lighting. Comfy seat. So like the sofa, bed, this chair, but only if I've got the footstool. Like I wouldn't, like, this is not comfy sitting like this. A blanket if it's a bit cooler. And then maybe a sort of snack that doesn't take, it sort of like a mindless snack, like some sort of delicious crisp or nuts or something, which I'm not going to have to take a bite of, then put down, or it's all going down me. Like, I need something that's just going to go straight in. And having a bath and reading, that makes me feel really cozy. How is your health now? So this is referring to a series of sort of like tummy issues I had, that I thought were period related, and then thought they were sort of bowel related, and lots of investigations and things at the doctors and scans and stuff, and they never came up with anything. Strangely, it all just sort of cleared up a bit. I went onto the pill for my period pains, which is something that I haven't been on for many, many years. When I first started getting anxious, I thought it was linked to the pill, so I came off the pill and haven't been on the pill for a long, long time. But I went back on the pill to trial it to see, because what happened before was when I was on the pill, it didn't lessen my period pain, but I could really pinpoint when I would come on my period, so I'd be able to take sort of ibuprofen like on the run up to Friday lunchtime, because I knew that's when I would be coming on my period. I've been on the pill now for 4 months, and I have had no period pain at all. Haven't had to take a painkiller, haven't had to, like, just nothing. Had to have a little, I can feel it's happening, like I can feel there's a period going on, but so it's like grumbly, but nothing painful, nothing as debilitating as it used to be, where like I couldn't get out of bed for the day, couldn't even talk because it was so painful, and had a sort of like routine of like, take painkillers, get in the bath, sit in the bath for a bit, take more painkillers, get out of the bath, try and sleep it off for a little bit until you can, and then feel more human. I've had none of that, and that's been 4 months of just taking the pill, which I've been on microgynon, which has been amazing. And then at the same time, the bowel issues have all sort of cleared up, and I had a lot of sort of like like some gross stuff going on as well, that has all sort of cleared up as well. So I was doing a food diary. I was trying to sort of identify what might be going on there, but I haven't cut anything out. I was trying different, like, cutting things out, but I'm back on eating everything now, so who knows what it was. But when I went to see a gynaecologist, because as part of this I went to see a gynaecologist, she said to me that the bowel stuff, it all sits very closely in there. It's like all innate, so like your bowels on top of your womb and all sorts of stuff's going on. And she said if one's irritated, then that's going to upset everything else. So maybe me going onto the pill and sorting out what's been going on with my cervix, because she was saying that I've got a very, very tight cervix, and the blood resting on that cervix every month was very, very irritating for me. I've noticed that my period, and forgive me if this is too much information, but my period presents differently as well. Like, it's not as, the blood isn't as bright red as it used to be. It's browner sort of blood. So I don't know if there's something else going on down there that has now sort of relieved the bowel symptoms as well. So there we go. But yes, thank you for asking. It's all going okay, touch wood. Is pumpkin spice everywhere in the UK like it is in the States? I don't tend to visit coffee shops, but from what I understand, I think so. David and I were at Blue Water shopping and we walked past a Starbucks and they had like big signs saying, it's here, it's the most wonderful time of the year and that sort of thing. So yes, I believe it to be big. Custard or ice cream with crumble? Never ice cream, always custard. And I like hot custard. David thinks I'm an absolute weirdo for liking hot custard. He only likes cold custard. With the rise of Bookstagram and BookTok, what do you think are the best and worst things about these things? So I don't go on TikTok. I've tried it before. I just find the whole thing quite cringe. The only time I've ever really used it is when I was looking for like cleaning tips and stuff, and I get quite lost in sort of clean talk, I believe it to be called. The best thing about it, I guess, is that it's getting people reading, and maybe people who wouldn't ordinarily have read. So like younger people, like I can't go into a bookshop now without seeing tables of books that TikTok have recommended, and although those books potentially aren't the books that I would be reading, Colleen Hoover or anything like that, I'm happy that people are reading. so that's good. So that's a good thing. And I guess that's the same with Bookstagram again, which I don't follow Bookstagram. I follow a few bookish people on Instagram, but none of them are sort of like carefully curated beautiful books with some candles glowing and all of that sort of thing. But the same thing, I'm happy for people to be reading. I guess if there's sort of the worst things about it, it all seems quite samey to me, which is why it always blows my mind when I see like an account that's like a Bookstagram account, and all of their pictures are basically exactly the same. It's just like a hot drink and a blanket, maybe with someone's legs and a book or something like that. And I'm thinking, bloody hell, like those pictures are getting like people are liking that. Like, I mean, that's, people like things, I get it. But yeah, maybe it's all a bit samey, and maybe it's sort of, I guess maybe it's preventing people from sort of like exploring a little bit more, which is why I think maybe BookTube is good, because there's such a wide range of readers out there, and the stuff I've seen on BookTok has been very much, or like the reels and things I've seen, which I guess are similar to BookTok, have been very much like the Colleen Hoover side of things, or Heartstopper, which is a series I really enjoy, but like very niche authors and things. So maybe it needs to be a little bit broader, but yeah, I mean, if it's making people read, I'll get behind it. Something seasonal you and David look forward to doing every year? Well, normally go away for David's birthday, but that's not happening this year. But yeah, I think just being together and just walking. We're not summer people, so we sort of tend to, the summer's a bit of a write-off for us. We don't tend to like be at our best. So I guess just sort of be reborn. We look forward to that every year, and the nights drawing in. And what we always tend to do as well is around David's birthday is that we watch a something which is on YouTube. I link it basically every year, called Christmas in a Day, which is an advertising campaign that Sainsbury's did in 2012, so like 12 years ago now, where they gave a lot of their customers cameras and told them to film their Christmases, from like getting ready for Christmas and taking Christmas down, and all sorts of people on their own, people who don't celebrate Christmas, people who've got kids, and that sort of thing. And we always watch that on David's birthday or around David's birthday. I don't know if we'll have time to do that tomorrow. Maybe not. We will. So yeah, that's always something I look forward to. And the last question, oh, this is a great question. What would you consider an autumn dish but not a winter one? David?
Yeah?
What would you consider an autumn dish but not a winter one?
An autumn?
I'm going to say things with squashings.
Hot dogs.
Oh, hot dogs. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, good call. So David said hot dogs, which I guess, are you thinking about like bonfire night and stuff?
Like potato and leek soup.
Oh, okay, potato and leek soup. I would say maybe jacket potatoes with chilli on, like a good vegetarian.
Chili.
Yeah. Oh no, because we eat chilli all year round, I think. But yeah, I would say.
Eat hot dogs all year round.
You can't stop talking. We eat hot dogs all year round. But yeah, maybe pumpkin pie, but things with squash in as well, I'm going to say. Great question. Well, there we go. A really long Q&A video about autumn. Do let me know your thoughts on autumn below, and if you've got any of the questions that you enjoyed hearing me answer, then answer them down below. And I'll see you all again soon for another BookTube video. Happy autumn. Goodbye.